the other day I sat down and I watched The Little Rascals on Netflix. And this is a movie I used to watch when I was a kid all the time, and I loved that movie so much. And I found that I noticed so many different tiny little details that I never used to notice when I was a kid. Like, there were jokes that I missed when I was younger. I didn't understand them. And I think that the same thing happens when you live in one country for a really long time and then you go overseas and then you come back and you get to experience everything with like a fresh set of eyes. And you'll notice so many more things that you never used to notice when you were younger, and you'll appreciate so many things that you never thought that you would appreciate. Like, for example, going grocery shopping is a freaking emotional roller coaster. Oh my gosh, look at all of the flavors of chips. I forgot about wraps, holy shit. Yes. Oh my gosh, there's so much chocolate. I don't even know what kombucha is, but I'm gonna get some because I can. About a year ago, I made a video called 8 Things You Won't Realize About Australia Until You've Lived Overseas and Then You Come Back, or something like that. It was catchier than that. A lot of people got really mad at it, like really aggressively mad. But anyway, I'm back at it again, back to make some more people angry with some more things that I've noticed about Australia since living overseas and then returning to Australia. Just to set the scene a little bit, I'm from Brisbane. I've lived in Brisbane or around that kind of area for most of my life, and then the past year I've been living in Tokyo, Japan. Before that I lived in Singapore, and then before that I lived in Osaka, Japan for 4 years. So that's where all of my comparisons and things come from, and large sweeping gestures with my arm, yes. First one, I mentioned it in my last video and I'll mention it again in this video, and I'll probably mention it in another video in the future, but the sky in Australia, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I never used to notice the sky ever, but I can't stop taking photos of the sky. The skies are so beautiful, the air is so clear and just like... Number 2, the vegetables in Australia are crazy motherfucking big. They're so massive. I like picked up a capsicum in Coles the other day and it was like actually the size of my head. Wow. That was good. That was a good one, actually. I'm really happy with that. Wow. Number 3, people in Australia are very relaxed is the word I'm gonna go with here. My first time coming back into Australia. I don't live right in Brisbane. I live just outside of Brisbane. It's in a little town called Logan. I was in Coles and yeah, it's just a young man walking around without any shoes on. And normally I really wouldn't find anything wrong with that when I was like younger or whatever. I'd be like, oh, whatever, he's just being chill. He's not wearing any shoes in the grocery store. But guys, at least put on some thongs. Like, it's not, there's only like a little bit separating between you and the floor. It's not like that much extra effort to put on thongs. Whoa. Although now I think about it, I don't really know what is so wrong about not wearing shoes in the grocery store, but I feel like there's something that shouldn't be okay about that. Number 4, let's talk about Queensland beaches for a second. Queensland beaches are the best, most beautiful beaches I've ever been to in my entire life. I used to always look at like Surfers Paradise or Sunshine Coast or whatever, and I'd look at those beaches and I'd be like, yeah, it's a beach, but whatever, what's so special about it? And then I went to Thailand and Bali and Okinawa, which are supposed to be like these tropical paradises that are just full of like white sand, clear water, and like hot bikini babes all over the beach and that kind of thing. And the reality is so different to that, and it's really made me appreciate Queensland beaches. No other beach I've ever been to is as long, like as freaking long as Queensland beaches are, and all of the sand is clear and really fine granules, and the water is clean and the waves are perfect, and the people are actually quite beautiful. I was feeling very self-conscious at the beach the other day because everyone was very beautiful and just like, wow. Number 5, the internet in Australia. Let's talk about the internet, guys. So I used to live in Japan, and then before that I lived in Singapore, and the internet sucks in Australia. It's so slow. Actually, we just got the NBN, like, I don't know, like 6 months ago or something like that, and it's much faster than it used to be. For example, if I upload a video to YouTube, it's about 1.5 gigabytes. In Singapore, it would take me about 10 minutes to upload. Pretty good. When I was in Japan, it would take me less than a minute. And then I got back to Australia, and it took 3.5 hours. Although now we've got the NBN and it takes probably about 45 minutes. So it's not It's not terrible, but it's not reliable. For anyone wondering why the internet is really slow in Australia, I actually don't really know the reason fully. It's the government's fault. Number 6. So at the moment I'm training for a marathon. Every Saturday they've got this just open, community, free, non-for-profit organization called Park Run. The people, whoa, the chicken's about to come out of the, oh my gosh, the chicken's nearly like escaping out the fence. Oh no, oh no. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. And it was really nice. So there were about 250 people there. And people were so nice and friendly, and just people would like cheer you on. They'd be like, yeah, good job, mate. You're going well. As they're running, as you're like crossing people. I don't know. It's like tiny, tiny little things like that. It's such a small act of kindness, but it makes such a difference. And I was proud to be Australian at that point, because I realized like I have a lot of friends who say, oh yeah, all Australians in my eyes are really friendly and positive and polite. So it was so nice to kind of see that side again, to see what my friends mean when they talk about Australians, to see that they're actually really friendly and warm and lovely people. And it was just, it was really nice. Number 7, there's so much vegan food in Australia and it's amazing. Heaps of vegan food and heaps of eco-friendly food, and they've even got, I went to a restaurant and they had keto stuff on the menu, which is good because my entire family's on keto at the moment, but that's for another time's discussion. This is all lard, so that's lard, there's some butter, Philadelphia cream cheese, spreadable cream cheese. I think that's just regular cheese, and that's some more lard. Do you think? Oh, and some thickened cream. Yeah. Wow. Everyone's so catering and welcoming to different people's dietary requirements and people's needs and wants and things like that. And I understand a lot of it's got to do with like buzzwords and keeping up with the trends, which is why there's a lot of like eco-friendly things available now. But honestly, anything that's going to make it easier for people to live a healthy lifestyle or a sustainable lifestyle, or vegan, vegetarian, keto, paleo, whatever you want to be, it's just very accommodating, and I think it's great. And Japan needs to learn a lesson or two. Number 8. Hey, the wildlife is actually kind of insane in Australia. Gracie! Speaking of wildlife, this is my little dog, Gracie. So I never used to understand when people would say like, oh, the wildlife in Australia is crazy, you're gonna die because, you know, everything's trying to kill you or whatever. But then actually, coming back, I've noticed that there's a lot of things that are actually kind of dangerous. It's not as bad as people say it is, it's not as bad as the internet says it is, but there's a season, it's called magpie season, and that's insane to me that you just don't walk around these birds during magpie season because they'll swoop you. Ooh, you, sir. I do not trust you. And that's crazy. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. There's just a lot more wildlife than I remember there being. And you don't notice it until I went to Japan and discovered that there's pretty much no insects at all. If you want to scare a Japanese person, just point at the ground and say, oh, kokiburi! And then they'll freak the fuck out because everyone's scared of cockroaches in Japan, and it's hilarious. So yeah, give that a go. It's a good one. Number 9. So do you remember that TV show called Lost? And there was that one Australian chick on it, and then everyone was like, oh no, she put on that accent even stronger so that, you know, she stands out amongst the Americans. But actually, she sounded like this.
I'm the only Australian who loves peanut butter.
Which is not too far off from what a normal Australian accent sounds like. It's just that in comparison to all of the other American accents, and then you hear that one Australian accent, it sounds so much stronger than it actually is. Also, side note, the fact that this plane was going from LA to Sydney and there was only one Australian on the flight. Excuse me, what? Every other Australian that I've met overseas, they've got the strongest accent that I've ever heard, and it's really, really Australian. I don't mind it. I think it's great, actually. I quite like the Australian accent sometimes. I think it's really, really funny when a lot of people say like, oh, no, I haven't got an accent. I've heard a lot of friends do that, although to be honest, most of them were my American friends, and a lot of them think that they don't have an accent, and that's hilarious. But anyway, the accents are stronger than I remember them being, and that's the point I was trying to make. Number 10. So this one's a little more serious, and I've left it to the end this time because the last time I put all the negative stuff at the start and then people didn't watch the rest of the video. I think that Australians are a little bit racist, which I know people joke about Australians being like, oh, it's casual racism, society, something like that. I don't know, maybe it's like casual racism, or people don't realize that it's racist, or overall I've noticed people be just a little bit racist towards, usually towards people from any Asian country, and that is because we've got a large Asian population in Australia, living in Australia. That's one of the great things about this country, is that it's so multicultural and you can learn so much from your friends that are right around you. And I've got a lot of friends that have said when they were in Australia they had a racist experience, and it's really disheartening to hear that. And I never really thought that it was a thing because I didn't notice it as much, I guess, before I'd lived overseas. I guess a good example would be, it's just a little thing, but I mean, I've noticed some people get really short-tempered and really rude and unfriendly to people if they can't speak English like 100% fluently. My brother's noticed it too because his wife is Korean. He's noticed that, yeah, some people get just really short-tempered and really snappy with them if they don't speak English perfectly. And yeah, and I've seen that too, and I think that that's, I don't know if that's racism. Maybe that's just like being unfriendly to a certain kind of person. Well, I guess that is racism. Maybe they're just uninformed, or maybe they're a little bit ignorant to some facts or something like that, and maybe sometimes they are just racist. But yeah, it's something that I'm really not proud of with Australia. I think we've come a long way, but I think that we've still got a way to go. I'm gonna stop talking about it because apparently you can't be white on the internet and talk about racism without being a white apologist or whatever that is. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Moving on. And that's all I've got time for, although this video is probably gonna be a little bit longer than usual, maybe. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know what your thoughts are below. Please try and be kind to me this time. Last time it got a little bit aggressive. No, don't start that. These are my experiences and my opinions and the things that I've noticed based on what I have to make a comparison with. So keep in mind, my opinion might be different to yours. Wow, isn't that an idea? It's okay for other people to have different opinions. Yes, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I would like to hear what you think and if you've noticed anything different about your own country when you've gone away and then come back. I hope you like this video. If you want to, what was it? If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye. Or if I only, so the other day I went, the vegetables, wow. Could you not like chirp all through my video? You want to say hello? Yes, you do. Yeah. What do you reckon? Well, the next one's kind of a serious discussion, so I'm gonna need you to not be here. Is that okay? And large sweeping gestures with my arm, yes. Again, back to make some more people angry at me and to make more money on YouTube because negative videos are popular. I'm the only Australian who loves peanut butter. Oh, that tastes like crap.